Gauteng Health MEC Bandile Masuku was back in court to challenge the Special Investigating Unit's report that led to his axing. The former MEC was fired by Premier David Makhura last year after the SIU's preliminary findings said that he had failed to provide oversight to uphold the constitution of the country and the regulations in the Public Finance Management Act. The findings were linked to an investigation into COVID-19 10-day irregularities, including the procurement of personal protective equipment. Masuku has consistently rejected the preliminary report. His lawyer, Mr. Mohalefa Motalane, joins us now. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's first start with the relief that is being sought here. What is it, and are you confident that the matter will be dealt with in the urgent manner that you've requested?
Hi, good evening, Thabiso, and to your viewers. Firstly, I'd like to pass my condolences to the Mthembu family and the South African nation at large on the passing of Minister Jesse Mthembu. Well, Thabiso, the court fortunately agreed with us that the matter is indeed urgent, and we in fact have had not to actually even argue about the urgency of the matter, and therefore that has been swiftly dealt with.
The various principles that you are obviously putting before the court that you believe is pivotal to his reputation, which of this is top of the list? I mean, there's the issue of the responsibility in terms of his duties as the MEC to request a progress letter in terms of Section 63 of the PFMA. But there's what has been a stickler point for many people, those who agree with him and those who disagree with him, that on oversight. Mr. Motalane, are you with us? Well, I'm not sure if you are muted, but if you are, please can you unmute yourself? Yes, Mr. Motalane, you can go ahead.
Yes, Thabiso, thank you. As I was indicating, as you are aware, the issues revolve around a number of issues as had been decided by the SIU. The very first actually principle that we had to determine and argue in court was actually the reviewability of the SIU findings themselves. And later on, we then had to deal with the fact that the oversight, findings as made by the SIU, we don't believe that are correct because in terms of the PFMA, the MEC, has quite specific responsibilities, and these responsibilities are clearly outlined as the executive authority. And in relation to that, they made determinations which don't apply to him at all whatsoever. And we have made a point that, his responsibilities as an executive authority are clearly outlined in the PFMA as opposed to what they've made a determination of.
Is he doing this for himself in order to absolve himself, or is he seeking to impact the manner in which government works and the appointments, how the terms and conditions are also outlined? Because he talks about Treasury regulations here, Treasury instructions about the responsibilities where his lie, and there's also the issue of communications between himself and the CFO in respect to the list of service providers. Is this the extent to which this responsibility is put on him or her in that position?
Yeah, well, that's precisely the problem, because the responsibilities that are clearly assigned to officials within the department. The SIU has astonishingly made no findings whatsoever, regarding those particular findings in relation to the responsibilities of the HOD, the CFO, and amongst other officials, honestly, within the whole department. So the number of the matter actually, and this is where we would want the court to actually assist, and not only, I think, Mr. Masuku in this particular case, but also, for the sake of governance in general, the fact that there has to be, as is prescribed in law, a distinction between, the responsibilities of the the executive authority and the administrative authorities within the department.
And that is the former Health MEC, Dr. Bandile Masuku's lawyer there, Mr. Mohalefa Motalane. We're going to